make sure I'm ready. And just in case the world should come to an end, I'll be prepared and ready. I got me bunker building, me food is stocked and waiting. Water and me gas tank full, and the gates don't check, so I ain't sure no fretting. Just in case should the world would come to an end, oh, I won't make sure that I'm prepared, my friends, whoa, yeah.
My fellow Belizeans, a nationwide state of emergency was declared on 30th March 2020 and will come into effect on Wednesday, April 1st at midnight. The state of emergency will be in effect for 30 days. The following describes the measures and actions the public is required to observe. There will be a curfew imposed from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. All businesses will be closed and citizens will not be allowed to circulate or be out of their homes during curfew hours. Only providers of essential services, such as security services, will be allowed to be out. Loitering, assembling, or moving in public places is strictly prohibited during curfew hours. If anyone is found in violation of these measures, law enforcement can stop and question you. If you lack good justification, you may be arrested and charged.
After a month of self-isolation, I find it hard to get out of bed, and I refuse to believe that this is starting to get me depressed. I was keeping myself busy, painting, working my garden, and making wine. After seeing all the great work my friends were doing in the community, I decided that I would document this pandemic that we were dealing with. So I packed my camera and invited others to collaborate with me in telling these stories.
We are just trying to avoid the movement of people within our community, meaning that this epidemic is a global one, and we are just being extra cautious with our community and trying to make our community as safe as possible so that we don't have this epidemic coming to our community. So we're spraying, we're coming out with the officers here, we're spraying our people coming in from town, and just trying to make San Antonio a safe place for the villagers.
Estamos viendo que nos está afectando porque la economía, el income para nosotros, los pobres, no tenemos de a dónde, ¿verdad? Entonces, ya lo poquito que tenemos ahorrado, poco a poco se va gastando. Y es una tristeza, porque todos lo estamos sufriendo, todos. Pero yo quiero animarles a todos, animarles a seguir adelante. Yo sé que no es fácil, pero hay que seguir adelante, señores. ¡Ánimo!
I just saw a need, you know, a lot of my friends lost their jobs, a lot of them worked in tourism or the food industry, and I knew that people were struggling already. I know the government's doing a lot with their benefits program, but it wasn't being rolled out quick enough. It's a big mammoth task, you know, and people were just left without money. So I figured, why not ask around and see if we could get some donations, maybe start doing a little something. And it just turned out to be much more than I expected. Everyone's been very generous with their time and donations, and it's been wonderful. it's great. I just thought maybe we would be able to do 1 week, 1 or 2 weeks of getting basics out, and I think we'll be able to do another 2 weeks from here, so that'll be a month of getting bags out with staples out to everybody. So it's been nice. It's nice when a community comes together and that everyone helps each other, so it's been very pleasing. Thank you, Danny. Thank you.
As you can see my sign, I'm David from David Adventure Tours. Been in the tourism industry for quite some time now, and well, from what I could see, the economy is already low, and it's going to be hard on the people who don't really have an access to even plant something on the ground. It's going to be tough, real tough, and I hope that the government explains to the people to gear up for harder times ahead, because we're always asking for help, which is good too, because we give to the government, but from what I see, there had been no plan for something like this. We had never even had this in mind, so it came like a shock, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hard to get back. It's gonna be, it needs some good talent and some good work, efforts put into it to be able to help people who are in desperate need right now, you know?
My fellow Belizeans, it is my sad duty to announce the death this afternoon of the 4th patient to be diagnosed in Belize with COVID-19. On behalf of the entire nation, I offer deepest condolences to the wife and family of Hubert Pipersberg. Mr. Pipersberg's death is an occasion for mourning. It is also a reminder, coming to us in the worst possible way, of the need for all Belizeans to treat this terrible virus with the grave seriousness it deserves.
Interview you?
Oh yeah, man.
As an artist, tell me, what is your biggest struggle going through this corona grass?
Man, my biggest fear right now is not having what I need in my home. That's the main thing, because you know we live off of music here in Belize, and the way the country is right now, we're at a standstill. So right now, me personally, I'm on my last week of ration in my house, so I don't know what's going to happen after that, because you know, it's just that's the way it is. You know, so I just come to the bank to take out a little bit, and I know sooner or later it's going to end, you know, so...
What are you doing now that is different to prepare?
Well, what I'm doing right now, most basically is staying home. You know, that's the best thing I could do. This is my first time out here for the past month and a half. So all the while I've been home, just preparing myself, keeping myself in top of this virus.
What do you think, how is Belize going to change from this, knowing the impact it's having to the world?
Well, me being personally from Belize City, I know it's going to be tough for the youths to even stay at home, because I've heard that a lot of youths have been locked up because they're not used to this kind of situation. You know, but me, myself, I know how to adapt myself to certain stuff, so, but it's just them I'm worried about, because I have a lot of my families there, and they keep on saying that they're tired of being in the house.
Yeah, more like farming skills and stuff like that. They don't,
well, in Belize City, they don't have much of the farming skills, because these people are city folks. You know, that's the reason I came to this area, so I could learn much about that. You know, so I'm doing good.
The white ones are for meat, because they are Mennonite types. And those brown ones are for eggs, and those patios are for the eggs. Most of them are for eggs. They are the ones next generation to be eaten, and they are all the hens laying eggs.
Food security?
Food guarantee. When we can't go to the market or anything. So we have a fresh egg every day.
What's different now with this coronavirus transition? Tell me, as an artist, how's it affecting you, and especially when you sell to a tourist market, or what are you doing differently now?
Well, I'm doing different now is well, since we all live from tourism, the tourism come in here now, so I just continue painting, and then I switch into doing more things with the land, more like planting the earth, you know. Meantime, I just keep on painting. I really don't know what's gonna happen, to be honest. Sometimes I get a bit scared because the future for an artist look a bit uncertain. Well, for all of us, I think, but more for an artist, I think, because we live from the tourism. Well, in a way, this is a good timing because probably I think that it allows us to be more original in the sense of trying to find new ways of marketing. That's what I think. This is like an experiment we're gonna have, you know. I don't know nothing about farming, so I think it's just gonna be an experiment that we're going to do, you know. Farming. I hope we can succeed and bring some fruits, because otherwise it will be tough. Yeah, here we have space and rivers, and we can, you know, go to real pools, you know, go to Mayan ruins, or just be here in the backyard, you know, cooking the chicken, you know. Like, you know, this chicken, we're gonna cook it. I'm gonna make a big ital pot. Well, not ital pot, you know, we call it ital chicken. And then, you know, deliver to some families here and eat some of us, you know, some fresh chicken. I'll try to keep this tradition for a bit. Here we have behind me we have the granadilla. It already started to bear fruit. And then we're making some beds to plant tomatoes, garlic, onions.
I've already started growing more myself.
Yeah, I think that's the way. Yeah. See, like for example, how Mito find out how to. It already have roots. The trick is to get the pineapple, then you peel up the 4 stems until you get to here, these little ones. And you put it in water, and then it will grow roots. See, after you have some roots, you can just put it in nice soil. In a few months, you have some pineapple. And then here we have some seeds for watermelon seeds, you know. Just put it in the ground where they're gonna be. And the air will help them out. You know, the little camas, you know, ready making cabbage and things in there. Watermelons, pineapples.
Yeah, that definitely represents the time when people are going back to farming.
Yeah.
More farming.
Yeah. And then I did one painting that is really tells about the times where we are nowadays. This one here.
Oh yeah, the mask. Yep.
Actually, the one who really started you should be called the prophet of the mask, or the mask prophet. You started doing this mask thing for many years.
2003, I think I did the first one.
And look, it came to be. Now everybody have to wear a mask. It's just that it's slightly different, but it still is a mask. And the next one that is fun is the one right behind you.
Oh yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Nobody's in the bar.
Nobody's in the bar.
Yeah, it's like where you go on.
Yeah.
I still haven't titled the painting, but it's empty.
Yep, tourism. What would we do without tourism? What do you think is going to happen with tourism? Or if we're going to have a new kind of tourism, or we're going to have it?
That you cannot keep people too long in one place. People will want to break out free and do their thing, you know, go to Belize. Everybody wants to come to Belize, you know. I think eventually, like, people will travel again, but there will be more, like, with more cautiousness, more restrictions. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. So I think it's gonna be good in the end. I think things are gonna move forward. Things just move forward. I have a lot of hope, you know.
¿Y por qué está haciendo esto? Lo que quieran decir. Su nombre.
Depende de lo que usted me pregunte. Gloria Molina.
Sí. ¿Y por qué está vendiendo ahora aquí?
Pues como en el mercado ya mis hijos no quisieron que yo continúe allá porque tenían miedo de que yo llegara aquí con ellos y ahí la enfermedad que andaba. Por eso es que me vine para acá. Pero nomás Dios quiera todo pase. Regresamos al mercado, pero siempre vamos a tener aquí verduras para vender en la aldea.
¿Y cómo está todo? ¿Negocio más o menos? Sí.
Sí, hay negocio, se vende siempre.
¿Qué cosa cree que futuro quede después de esto? ¿Qué cree que?
Pues eso sí no sabemos, pero de que se va a componer de la enfermedad, yo creo que sí, pero del futuro no se sabe, solo Dios sabe qué va a pasar, porque para mí como que todo va a cambiar.
My friend Barefoot Skinny told me he had a story worth documenting, so I handed him my camera, and this is what he did.
I've known Libby Bedreen for some time, and we've been friends for years. And when she gets on a mission, there's no stopping her. This time, she saw a need for the farmers of San Antonio Village, where she lives, to be able to sell their food, and a need for the needy people who had no food to eat. So she came up with the idea of the Free Soup Project, and I thought it made for a great documentary. So here's what took place.
Well, when the virus hit, I found out that the farmers in our local village weren't being able to sell their vegetables because they weren't going to market. So they were just rotting in the fields. But not only were they not being able to sell them, they weren't replanting. And because our village produces 70% of all the vegetables and fruits in the Cayo district, this could be detrimental for everyone in 2 or 3 months if they're not replanting. So my first thought was, well, I could buy the vegetables from the farmers, make soup, because people were starting to go hungry. For all of their work to be cut off, a lot of people were stuck and families were starting to go hungry. So that's how the Free Soup Project came about.
How did you get a hold of the farmers to make this possible?
I contacted the village chairman, who contacted Farmers Farming, and we all met in the village center, keeping all 6 feet apart, and was discussing ways that we could start selling the vegetables and people we could get them to, and stores, veggie stands that could buy them, so we could actually sell some of these vegetables. And also we're working on securing seeds, so the farmers will have seeds to replant.
I understand you've also been transporting vegetables all over the country to needy people. How are you doing that?
Well, we did basically a bag of basic vegetables that got distributed last week to different people all around Belize. And also I contacted a couple of veggie stands who were people who actually grew up in the village here. And in the last 2 weeks, we probably moved almost 15,000 pounds of vegetables. It's really wonderful to see what they're producing we're actually being able to sell. And last week we finally did our first soup project, which was over 100 containers of 32 ounces of soup. 32 ounces of soup with rice. Sweet potato soup will feed 3 or 4 people easily. And it has vegetables and bone stock and everything they need for vitamins, nutrients, and vegetables.
Yeah, the virus wasn't bad enough.
It was a hard time to get out and about to help other people, what with all the fires burning crazy all over the countryside, and with everyone being encouraged to stay in place, they weren't really accepting a whole lot of traffic moving around, so getting around was a little difficult, but the farmers still came forth and made it all happen. Because there were so many fires, many of the locals got together and provided food and services to the firefighters who were working so hard to get them out. Friends of the Bluffs restaurant got together to make an attempt to feed those firefighters, and it was successful. Just as Libby and her friends got everything chopped up and put into the soup kettles, we got the first rain of the season, and boy, was it needed. It really helped to stifle out these fires. But with that came a blackout. But we couldn't stop cooking that.
Well, now we're putting the soup together. So we have approximately 400 to 500 people to feed tomorrow. So then after all of these pots are cooked, then so many cups of each go into your master pot. And then they all cook together. And so we're boiling it for the last time tonight. Everything's boiling hot right now. And it'll be cool enough to package in the morning. And we'll start packaging about 5, 6 a.m. and then we'll be able to get it out about 10 or 11 o'clock. But that's how you feed 400 people soup. Or so I've learned. Or at least it's working as of now.
Tell me about your hostel and what inspired you to open the hostel and you being part of the tourist industry.
Well, I opened in 2014, the end of 2014, so November, after traveling a little bit in Europe, and that's kind of where I got the idea from, staying in hostels there. We cater to backpackers, budget travelers, so we normally get about 25 people in here, everywhere, hanging out. We get people from Europe, from the US, from all over.
How has this virus changed your life? And I mean, what are you doing now with this?
Well, on March 16th is when we closed, not because we chose to, just because people just stopped showing up. Everyone got their flights back to wherever they were originally from, stopped traveling and everything. And then from then we've just been here in the hostel, empty for the first time in 5 years.
What do you think is going to happen to Belize as far as tourism after this?
So it's been 5 years since we opened, and that's my first time ever working in tourism was when I opened this place. I don't think that I will be able to host anybody for the rest of this year, but I don't see traveling for 2020 happening.
How has it changed your life? What are you doing now?
Right now, well, I have time to plant, so I'm trying to plant. I guess everyone's kind of doing that. Changed my life. Actually, it was kind of nice because the streets were quiet and no cars, a whole lot less dust, and just time to do whatever you feel like, really, inside.
What do you think is going to happen? What do you predict, or any idea what's going to happen?
Well, I guess with past pandemics, like 100 years ago, there's always been like 2 waves. So I guess we're really just experiencing the first one. Hopefully there won't be another, but everyone's kind of saying they're expecting another. So 2020 will be spent indoors.
What's keeping you going? Like, anything's inspiring you, or like, what are you doing right now to keep from losing your mind?
Well, the planting, exercising, cooking, lots of ideas, lots of time to draw ideas and be creative, I guess. It's the only thing you can do.
Just in case, I say in case.
0 cases! Yeah.
Celebrating 0 cases.
0 cases today.
I don't have to drink.
Well, it was yesterday, actually.
0 cases.
Calendar's right, I wanna make sure I'm ready. And just in case the world should come to